He's not stupid, he's naive. You have the older brother, you have the current Santa, and you have the over-the-hill retired grandpa, and all of them are sitting here, who did it better?
I'm Santa. I'm delivering it.
Arthur is waking up to the reality of the world and his family, and the real question is he gonna lose himself along the way?
How can I ever write another letter saying that Santa cares?
Because you can be optimistic and realistic, and the key is, well, who do I choose to show up as? West Coast, we're coming to California, baby!
Live shows.
Nailed
18th
it.
in Los Angeles, 20th in the Bay Area. A Q&A, live meet and greet, merch.
Link is in the description below.
It will be fun.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist, and I love Christmas.
Bah humbug. I'm Alan Seawright. I'm a professional filmmaker, and I also like Christmas.
Today we're going to be doing family therapy on Aardman Animation's Arthur Christmas.
What a lovely family.
We're talking...
Full of real screw-ups.
I think the idea that Santa's a title and it's just passed down through the generations is an inspired idea. And then that the clauses are dysfunctional as hell is super fun.
It's very fun.
We're going to be taking a look at family roles, ego, and stepping aside to let each other shine. Let's do this.
Ooh.
I didn't need a trillion elves in bleepy hats.
We don't just fly about throwing lead-painted toys down chimneys anymore. Sends you back to Lapland.
Why?
Malcolm, where did you get those?
Just moving things along. Do I win?
Sheets! The pair of you!
Mum, are you okay?
Polar bear, dear. Attacked me on the ice. Good job, I
So many real-life family board games are a wonderful place to explore the simmering tensions underneath.
Yes.
Spaceship!
My S1 festivies the world at 1,000
Festivize the world.
speed of sound.
Christmas 1941, World War II, I did the whole thing with 6 reindeer and a drunken elf. I was shot at, Arthur. Took 12 direct hits. Lost 3 reindeer.
3 reindeer.
Fell out of the sleigh over Lake Geneva. Never saw him again.
Surprisingly dark jokes in this movie.
It's just very Aardman. Like,
Who can sing Silent Night backwards? Arthur, of course he can.
I played it backwards. He's not singing it.
Still do it now, Arthur. Just give me a go!
In a heap of sticks.
Let me up and at it. I'll show you, Robbie the Rover.
I'll have that one back.
I would have won anyway.
He's stealing presents again.
Okay, who's our murderer's row of voice actors here?
Oh my gosh. Okay, we got one of them guys. We got Jim Broadbent. We got one of those Bill Nyes that I've been hearing so much about.
Science rules.
We got a Hugh Laurie.
James McAvoy.
Is macking
Is
it up.
Imelda Stanton Mrs. Claus?
Imelda Staunton is Mrs.
Imelda
Claus.
Staunton. This atones a lot for what she does in Harry Potter, because she's so good in this. Oh, she's good in Harry Potter.
Brilliant in Harry Potter. Like, there's no one on earth that you hate more. And it's because Imelda Staunton is a genius.
And here, she is the only member of this family who's got their act together.
Even remotely.
Even remotely. So
Yeah, I don't know that I would say Arthur has his act together.
no, but Arthur isn't petty or jealous or...
No, he's a very kind idiot.
Yes, which is why I'm cosplaying Arthur right now, because we are one spirit. Something that family therapists are trained to do is not board games necessarily, but activities.
Sure.
Activities where here I'm going to do a little peek behind the curtain where the whole purpose is for the therapist to sit back and observe. Observe the patterns, observe the interactions, observe who assumes what roles, and even in the simplest of activities, I love in the John Wick movies, that's a weird pull, but...
Yeah, I don't remember a family board game scene in John Wick.
But in John Wick they say how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Sure.
And so you get a family playing a board game or doing an activity, and you can start to see who's who, and you can start to see what the tensions are. And in this circumstance right here, we see so much wiener measuring, again, family film, between these 3 patriarchs. You have the older brother who's next in line for the title, you have the current Santa, and you have the over-the-hill retired grandpa, and all of them are sitting here, who did it better, or who can do it better. And there's just so many passive-aggressive jabs and aggressive jabs at one another. Meanwhile, Mom and Arthur, all families have like the peacemakers who are just like, let's just enjoy it. And no, because these things haven't been resolved. And until they're resolved, until we work through them, they're going to keep popping up at dinner time, watching football, playing board games over and over and over again. These things are going to come to the surface.
As these Santas are getting older, they might be thinking, I should probably go to the doctor more often.
Well, I think the stress of delivering all those presents is finally catching up with them.
Or they might be feeling lower back pain from scrambling up and down those chimneys.
Or feeling bloated after all those milk and cookies.
I am feeling called out right now. But it can be tough to get into the doctor.
Look, I want to stay healthy, but sometimes it's hard to find the right doctor for my needs.
But Zocdoc makes it so easy. Tell him, Jono.
You can find the right doctor right now, and it's all online.
You'll probably be able to book an appointment by the end of this ad.
And with Zocdoc, it's easy.
You can find doctors that are right for you and instantly book an appointment.
Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click instantly to book an appointment.
Faster than Bryony can wrap a present.
They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you.
We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty.
From mental health to dental health.
Eye care to skin care, and much more.
And when you're searching for a doctor, you can filter for ones who take your insurance.
Are located near you.
And who treat basically any condition you're looking for.
You can also see their actual appointment openings.
Choose a time slot that works for you.
And click to instantly book a visit.
Plus, Zocdoc appointments happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking.
You can even score same-day appointments, which is just as fast as you can deliver a present across the globe.
If I need a doctor, I'm going to use Zocdoc to find and book a great one near me.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Get help. And go to Zocdoc.com/cinematherapy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/cinematherapy.
Zocdoc.com/cinematherapy.
The mission was a success.
But we can't leave a child out of Christmas.
Sunrise at destination is 7:39 a.m. There's no way to get there in time.
No.
Yeah, the
Swan.
The S1. Righto.
No! The S1 has just traveled.
really interesting family dynamics here with the dad who's kind of inept and relying on his son to run things.
But then blames him for everything that goes
Yeah.
wrong so he can get off scot-free. And doesn't really realize that he's doing it.
Right. It's
called up for field duty.
not a thing I've seen
My mission and gift
really in a
of
movie
support.
before, but it feels like a thing I've experienced in real life. I just can't draw the... I'm sure you've seen this.
I've seen any number of families.
Of enwrapment, then I'm your elf.
The issue when you take responsibility for everything is you also take the blame for everything, and that's what's going on with Steven. He feels unappreciated.
0.001514834%, sir.
Wow. I mean, hello? Where's the champagne? My department.
Where's the
delivered most
champagne?
outstanding Christmas ever.
Oh,
Statistically, the margin of error was so small, but to Arthur it's...
Without a present!
Arthur, Christmas is not a time for emotion. 7785BXK a present within the window of Christmas. The messenger of the item, it'll be there in 5 days.
But that'll ruin
Listen.
magic.
Steven would fit right in at FedEx.
If there was any way at all to make the drop tonight, but it can't be done.
your brother knows about these things. I won't sleep easy after this, Arthur. But there it is. Can't be done.
This reminds me kind of another movie that we did an episode on recently, Superman 2025, where to Clark, it's every life that matters. And to everybody else, there's all these other considerations. Yes, of course, lives matter, but look at our margin of error. It's
Quit
so
being
low.
such a Boy Scout. Quit being such a Santa homer.
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know
get
what
it to her within the window of Christmas. But Arthur is the one who answers all the letters.
Yeah.
Arthur is the one who believes in the magic. Arthur is the one who still has the heart of it. And this happens a lot in families, not this specifically, but because different people have different roles, whatever your role is, that's where your focus is.
Right.
Steve's role is he wants the mantle, he wants the title, and he wants to push Christmas into the future. He even uses phrases like, my S1 festivized the world.
At 1,000 times the speed of sound.
Steven's right when he calls him a figurehead. His heart's not in it anymore because he's been doing it for so long. But also, who is he if he's not doing this? And then Grandpa's just Bill Nye having a great time. He's British Abe Simpson.
Yes. His old man yells at Cloud.
This elevator only goes to the basement.
But the heart of that is we don't want to be forgotten. And people, as they grow older, really want to drive home, but I had a life. I did great things. I lived. And I don't want that to be forgotten either. And so there's an undercurrent of sadness on this end, jealousy on this end, desperate desire to prove oneself on this end, and it's all just colliding together. And in the middle of it is Arthur, who's just the whole heart of the family, everything we're supposed to be about. Everyone's lost it but me and Mom.
Yeah, well, and they all have these different perspectives where they're coming from. But at this point in the film, none of them are listening to each other's perspectives. They're just talking over each other or flipping board games.
Because people say, no, I was listening. You know, I get that all the time. I'm like, you're not listening. No, I'm listening.
You're hearing, you're not listening.
Exactly. I love the way you phrase that. You're listening to respond, not to understand.
Yep.
You're hearing because you've already made your mind up, so what argument's coming my way that I need to deflect and I need to, beat down, instead of where's this other person coming from and why does it matter?
Right.
I wonder if this conversation we're having now could be helpful during the holidays.
We can help them, sir. No one missed, sir. All correct presents, present and correct, sir.
The
I
fact
love
that
this, like, they almost have him sold on it.
We can do it.
Until...
Grand Santa and Arthur would be the heroes of the night, sir.
Come home now.
That's great writing.
That's really good.
Christmas spirit, there'd be chaos.
Because it also speaks to what are Steve's intentions.
Santa will want us to get to Gwen. Ask him, please.
Arthur, this is Dad we're talking about.
There was a time when he cared about every last gift tag, but now he just wants to be loved and get some rest.
No. He's lying awake, worrying his beard off about Gwen.
Ho, ho, ho! Off to the land of Nod. Please do not...
Off to the land of Nod.
Yes, Malcolm, press the red.
No. Santa's the most caring man in the world.
So why are you here, not him?
This was actually one other thing that bugged me about the movie, is Arthur seems to not know his family at all. He knows the legends of his family. Presumably he was raised by Santa, and he doesn't know anything about it?
This isn't hard to solve.
Okay.
I'm the youngest child in my family, and I have...
You think your dad is Santa Claus?
No, my older siblings had different versions of my parents.
Oh, valid.
And so by the time they got to me, they were A, better at the job, B, too tired to be strict.
Sure, okay.
And so I think Arthur's had a different experience with his dad, but also Arthur's idealism is so strong and so untempered by realism that he fails to see what's in front of his nose a lot. And so I agree, it's a little bit unrealistic.
His giant, bulbous, poorly designed nose. Sorry. I look, listen,
here's
it's
why
a good
I like
movie
it.
and everybody can love it. I have problems, okay?
No.
I need therapy.
Here's why the nose plays. Norman Rockwell paintings. That's the Santa we're getting in this movie.
Yeah, okay.
But I will say for Arthur, I know people like this. I mean, I've been this, where I want so badly to see the good in everybody, and I don't think that's a bad trait, but it needs to be tempered by realism. He's not stupid, he's naive. He's never left the North Pole. He's just there for the mission, and he hears all the stories and about all the happy children, and he believes, and this also could be like coming from a family with a strong political or religious slant where all you hear and see is like the good side of it, right?
Yep.
And so Arthur is waking up to the reality of the world and his family, and the real question is he going to lose himself along the way?
All that fuss over one kid. I was being ridiculous. This is nice. It's good to get away from it all, you know?
Castaway 2.
Where's Wilson?
Wilson's been replaced by a bike.
Fair.
I'm sorry I messed things up, lad.
You see, the night I last took Evie out, when there was all that fuss, your father...
Because he almost started the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Whoopsie doodle.
Couldn't look me in the eye. Dad, he says, Steve thinks it best you don't fly again. We're scrapping the sleigh.
So, not just the glory days, but I don't know who I've been ever since then.
Yeah.
And that's the pain behind the pettiness.
I just wanted them to remember who I used to be. I was a bit like you, lads. Keen as cranberry. So was your dad. You get old, that's all. Everything changes.
Does it? How can I ever write another letter saying that Santa cares? Good night, Dad. Sleep well.
That is such a weirdly dark moment. The slipper sinking.
Like drowning in the ocean.
It's just the way they animate the eyes to like look down and then it just... We're starting to get some perspective from Grand Santa, right? He's not just seeing Arthur's perspective, he's sharing what his is. And he's admitting to himself.
And the really sad thing is that he confuses his role for his identity. I don't have the role of Santa anymore. I don't have the mantle, therefore I'm not anymore. But Arthur's got the heart of it. That Christmas, the holidays, whatever, it's about connection and love and joy. And you don't have to have the mantle to spread that around. Like, he could still be Santa in the North Pole, still spreading that joy, but he lost it. And it reminds me of my grandma one time said, I want you grandkids to know that I used to be fun and I used to be funny and life beat it out of me. And that reminds me of Grand Santa right here. And when she said that, I thought, I have to remember this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. What happened to you and how do I not let it happen to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Arthur's got his crisis of faith. His optimism is now blending with cynicism and realism. The real trick is, how do you not lose yourself in the process? Because you can be optimistic and realistic. And the key is, well, who do I choose to show up as? And we'll get to that.
Hey, happy holidays. Over on our Patreon, you can give the gift that keeps on giving, and that gift is...
our Patreon.
Our Patreon. You can gift it to someone else if you want. And for a limited time only, just for the holidays, we have a discount. I think it's like 2 months free if you buy an annual membership, right?
Yeah.
It's like 16% off.
You get extended commercial-free director's cuts of our episodes before they drop on YouTube. We've got Grab Bags of Mystery, which is music videos, sketch comedy, lots of stuff. Deep dives, filmmaking and therapy deep dives.
Patreon exclusive episodes.
And so much more. Cinema Therapy Studios peek behind the scenes of short films and a feature film.
Film that we're working on.
Yeah, all of that and more you will
Very
see
cool.
on our Patreon. If you're not on our Patreon, you're missing out. Give the gift of us. Exclusive big time sale right now. Click the link.
My S1. S for Santa. I'm flying to this child.
Of course, she's all that matters. Not me, your son. Not the 2 billion things I did right tonight. No!
This is about that pool table, isn't it? I told you should have written to me.
I was 8. You're my dad.
For goodness sake! Arthur and Grand Santa are out there probably not wearing nearly enough layers and you're for a big red toy?
I'm not bickering. If Stephen could just stand back and...
Airbag.
You drive, Stephen.
I think that was great. I think they could have gotten another laugh by having it deflate even slower and just hold on it for like 10 seconds.
Just really marinate in the humiliation.
Arthur and Grand Santa from whatever ditch they've ended up in.
Maximum thrust.
Steven's doing what he always does. Fine, I will fix it, and I will fix it bitterly, and I won't be appreciated, but I love my family, and this is my duty, so damn it, I'm just gonna get it done. I think that speaks to a lot of people, especially around the holidays. And all ego is insecurity. He knows that he's not that great. He knows he doesn't really know the job, doesn't know the S1, doesn't know all the systems and strategies. He knows it's all Steven, but he really doesn't want anyone else to see it. He wants everyone else to love him, as Steven rightfully assessed. So he needs to act, or thinks he needs to act like he's got it all figured out. And what really sucks is then that means that not only does he rely on Steven, but he lets Steven take the fall for a lot of things so that he can maintain this perfect Santa.
And he doesn't give Steven credit. Like, Steven is just asking for... It's not about the pool table, by the way. It's not about the pool table. Maybe a little bit. But Stephen is saying, look, I did so much right. I got 2 billion things right and 1 thing wrong. And all you're talking about is the thing I got wrong. Hi, Steve. Welcome to my club. With parents who show love by criticizing.
So if I'm doing family therapy with this group, the very first thing I'm going to coach them in doing is shelving their agenda, which we talk about in our Christoph episode.
Right there.
But it's the concept of whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm going through, we're not going to stuff it, we're not going to ignore it. We're going to put it on the shelf and we're going to take it off later. But right here, right now, I'm going to be present for the person in front of me who's in pain. And all 3 of these men really, really need to learn this skill because they're all wrapped up in their own insecurity and wrapped up in their own pain. And this is why they're not seeing each other and why they're talking past each other.
I would say all 4 of the men need to. Arthur is just as blind to his family's needs because
That's true.
all he's seeing is child 456 XB3 47, whatever.
His failings are benign, and he is not petty.
Correct.
But you're right that he's still not seeing.
He's still not listening.
Yeah. Well, and I think the reason he's not listening is because he's trying to force everything to be all right.
Yeah.
That's how he approaches life. He's idealistic, but the blinders are up, and that's why he hasn't seen all this. Part of it is willful, because he needs the joy and the light of Christmas. This is who he is, and all of that threatens to encroach on it, so he pushes it out.
You came! I knew you would! You wouldn't just go to bed and forget Gwen! You're Santa! Oh! I'm Santa! I'm delivering it!
Don't be silly, I'm Santa. Can't you see from this suit?
I am actually Santa, and I think it would be best. I'm Santa!
So, family businesses, family roles.
I could try!
A lot of this is true to real families.
Yep. Have a bum-bum.
Please. Gwen just has to have a present from Santa.
You do it, Arthur.
This is the first truly good thing that Santa has done this entire movie. And of course, you know, I think it's a very smart screenplay. Just because it's not subtle doesn't mean it's not effective.
Oh yeah.
We know that...
What is the garbage thing again?
I
can't remember where this... It just seemed like he dumped a bag of garbage out of nowhere.
No, there was a setup for it.
There was a setup for it. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, my head. Ye baubles, a beautiful young reindeer.
Great comic timing, though.
Not subtle, but very effective.
Yeah.
We know who the real Santa needs to be. And he's not Santa because he's old and plump and says ho ho ho.
And he's not Santa because he's super competent and can get 2 million billion trillion things done at a time.
He's Santa because he believes in the cause, and the cause is joy. And that makes him perfect for the gig. And I've been talking lately about moments where therapy happens, but there's no therapist on screen. This is one of them.
Please, let's...
Oh, in all my years, I've never actually... Always so busy. Too busy.
Okay.
I'm not good at... In my day, a pat on the back and a walnut went a long way.
So,
I think it's
all the credit to the animators in the world. Like, that is such great animation, him looking back and forth between his sons. And you really just get the feeling from that and Jim Broadbent's voice getting husky and raspy, and I still can't stand looking at those 3 faces smushed together. It just it itches my brain.
Okay. I will represent...
Thank you.
Those of us who are fine with it.
You deserve to be Santa.
You deserve to be Santa, Steve.
But Steve, I wonder if Gwen is right.
Although this is true on every team where you have creative people and joy-driven people, you also need the people who can get done.
Yep. And?
We love you, Corinne.
I'll be the candle, eh?
I'll be the candle. Back to the board game, right? You be the candle, Steve.
That's good writing.
That is really good writing.
Call back to something from earlier.
You're better men than both of you.
Oh, it's like, a squirrel. Oh! Drop complete.
Yeah.
Those.
Have a new Santa.
Oh boy.
A little bit like a gecko, you know?
This is a personal taste thing. I know I am out on Weirdo Island here. These artists are obviously working real hard, and they're really smart, and they're really good at their jobs. Way better than I am at my job. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but yikes.
Okay, so when I say therapy happens and there's no therapist on screen, what family therapy would be driving at with this family is this.
Yeah.
All of our contention, all of our striving, all of the pettiness and the backbiting all boils down to ego and insecurity. And what happens when, instead of being threatened by each other, we're proud of each other. You know why Steve doesn't need to be Santa anymore? Because his dad gave him a pat on the back and said, you deserve to be Santa. And essentially, I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you all these years. I've been too busy.
Yeah, all he needed to hear was, you deserve to be Santa. I don't know that he actually wants the job.
No!
He clearly doesn't want to fit into the suit.
What he wants is approval and belonging and to be loved.
Right.
And when that is given to him, it's so easy for Steve, who earlier aborted the whole mission because I can't let Arthur be the hero, to see, well, Arthur is the hero, and Arthur definitely needs to be in the front because he represents what this is all about.
People need to see him driving the sleigh. I'll actually be driving the sleigh.
Right. But Arthur can't get this done.
No.
But that's also family, that they need each other.
Yeah.
And what's really fun to me about this movie is, for all the surprisingly dark jokes.
What if you do wake the odd nipper? A whack on the head with a sock full of sand and a dab of whiskey on the lips they don't remember in the morning.
Listen, I've watched enough Aardman movies. They're not surprising to me anymore. Every time it happened, I was just like, there's the Aardman.
For all the surprisingly dark jokes and the sarcasm and the bickering that goes on in this film, it's got a really warm heart because it's, like all great holiday films, about reconciliation and giving each other love, such as, you know, Die Hard.
The greatest Christmas reconciliation film of all time.
Die Hard! Die Hard! Die Hard!
But that is why it's a Christmas film. It's not because it takes place at Christmas. We have a whole episode about it.
Honestly, that's also why it's a classic. It's not because shooty shooty bang bang.
I want to see a sequel to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang called Shooty Shooty
Bang Bang.
We're not going to put that
That's
on
John Wick 5. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever your thing is that you're celebrating, celebrate it. And we love you, and we love Christmas movies. If you have a Christmas movie that you want us to talk about, let us know what it is, because we don't know what we're doing.
What's your favorite Christmas movie and why?
So until next time.
At least have the decency to finish us off with a rock.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Bambi, Dave, the white one, the other one, all of you.
And watch movies.
Ho ho.
Ho ho, happy holidays, and thank you to our patrons, folks like
Alyssa,
Artemis Folly,
Tom Barker,
Ashley Ginto,
and Toffee Dog.
Consider giving the gift of our Patreon.
Great, you can actually gift Patreon. It's a thing you can do on Patreon. Give it to somebody
Yeah,
that you love.
So much more CT goodness. Check it out.